20-minute kind of personality test. It'll tell me a whole lot about you guys. That will have a lot to do with how we shape things.
Okay.
Do we have a reader?
Yes, I can read.
Go.
So, number one, I've been romantic and imaginative, or I've been pragmatic and down to earth. I've often felt the need to be a pillar of strength. I've often felt the need to perform perfectly.
I have tended to be detached and preoccupied. I have tended to be moody and self-absorbed.
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Tuesday, December 12th, 2023. Hope everyone is having a great day. There's one thing that you can count on Sister Wives, and that is for Christine and Robyn not to get along. It's pretty consistent. These two have been at odds since very early on in this series and early on in their relationship with Cody. If you go into the archives of photographs, you find very few of the two of them actually together, spending time together. That's because the two of them rarely ever did outside of filming. This past season, you saw them both pointing fingers at the other, although some of the complaints that Christine had seemed to have valid evidence, and Robyn, on the other hand, just threw accusations over at Christine, regardless if they were true or not. One thing we know is if Robyn has someone to blame, she's going to blame Christine, because Christine is Cody and Robyn's favorite scapegoat. It used to be Mary, and now it's all Christine. And fans were shocked when Suki was hearing from Christine that there was this personality test that they did. And everyone admitted to doing it, Christine, Janelle, and Mary. And when she got to Robyn, Robyn denied doing this test. Right. Yeah. Do you need a refresher? Check this out.
I never took it, but I remember it, yeah.
You never took it?
I never did.
Wait.
Some of us did, and I just never. So if somebody was coming up with my personality type, they were taking the test for me and making the choices for me and going, oh, well, I think this is who you are. And that was when, and if that's somebody doing that, that means, like, Christine didn't know me well. She didn't take the time to know me very well.
The problem with Robyn's answer is that, one, she doesn't remember, then she does remember, then she doesn't. Then she accuses Christine of filling the answers in for her. The problem with Robyn, not only does she blame Christine for filling the questionnaire out for her for this personality test, she's lying, because on season 6, episode 10, the family went down to Sedona and they did a family, like a couples retreat. This was the first time they met with Nancy, and they brought their therapist, Pat. It was sort of like when Pat transitioned everyone over to Nancy. And in the very beginning of this video, you saw that they all took the test together. So Robyn was intentionally lying or just making something up on the fly, but the default for her is to always blame Christine. My guess is that she blames Christine because of their feud that they've had since the very beginning. And I spoke to a cousin of Christine's who gave me new insight. So let's get into the topic. Before we do, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet subscribed, and click the bell so you never miss a video.
The whole Robyn coming along was making me mad because I hadn't met her. And here Cody's going on and on and on about her. He prays about it. He gets a testimony that, she is definitely someone that he wants in the family. And I'm panicking because I haven't met her. I don't know what she's like. Never even seen her before. And I thought it was horrible. I totally felt like I lost my best friend.
In the very first season, second episode, when we actually meet Robyn Brown for the first time, before she's even Robyn Brown, Christine Brown says that she thought it was horrible to bring Robyn into the family, and she said that she had never met her and never seen her before and didn't know her and just thought she lost her best friend because Cody had a testimony that he was bringing her in, and that was it. On the tell-all last night, 2 nights ago, Janelle and Mary revealed that the family came together rather forced. And there were some people in the family that didn't necessarily want this to happen, or they needed more time, or it felt like they had no choice. Christine Brown would have been one of those people that felt like this was forced. Now, a cousin of Christine, she shared with me something that gave me new insight. Obviously, she doesn't know for sure, but because Christine's cousin is also cousins with Preston, who is Robyn's ex-husband, and because Christine is first cousins with Preston, Robyn's ex-husband, Christine's cousin says that Robyn joining the family wasn't just about Christine feeling ditched, but rather Christine and others in the family concerned that Robyn was not joining the family for the right reasons. And Christine's cousin believes that Christine had Preston's side of the story, which included details about their divorce and how Robyn had left him completely broke. He nearly was bankrupt but couldn't file for bankruptcy due to their divorce decree. He lost his business. Robyn left his family in debt. She owed thousands of dollars to them, and he was being accused by Robyn of abuse, which he claims never happened. Christine said in the very first episode a little bit of a clue about what kind of woman shouldn't join a family. And because her cousin, her female cousin, who again is cousins with both Christine and Preston, Robyn's ex-husband, yes, Robyn was married to Christine's cousin, Preston. Preston's mom and Christine's dad are siblings. Yes. And Christine has never shared this connection. The family has never shared this connection on the show. But very early in the first episode, Christine discussed about women joining families for the wrong reasons. Check it out.
There's situations where a girl will come into a family and just want the guy, and it rips the family apart. I wasn't interested in that. I wanted the family. That's what I was interested in. Decided when I was about 19, and I wanted to enter a plural family, wanted to enter as the third wife. I guess after you get 2 wives, guys are like, ah! And then a third wife comes along, and they actually say if you're having problems, like when you have 2 wives, when you're having problems, marry a third, because they'll even it out.
When we first meet Christine in the very beginning of this series, her first one-on-one interview, one of the first things out of her mouth is that sometimes women come into the family and they rip them apart because they're coming into the family for the man and not just the family. She then goes on to explain that she was 19 when she decided that she wanted to join plural marriage. She knew she always wanted to be a third wife, and she said that in their church, they usually say if the guy's having trouble with 2 wives, bring in a third and everything will even out. And so she said she always wanted to be the third wife. Now, Christine's cousin gave me a little bit of backstory about why Christine wanted this spot. According to her cousin, who was also a plural wife, in the AUB, 3 wives is the minimum a man needs in order to reach the highest level of heaven, the celestial kingdom. Because they only need 3, most men won't obtain more than 3 because it just becomes more of a headache. As her cousin put it, why take on more responsibility when you don't have to? Get your minimum requirement so that you can get into heaven, have 3 wives. Why they say that you should have 3 wives is because when one of the wives is with the husband, then the other wife will have a friend to hang out with. So there's not a third wheel. When you add an odd number of wives, there could always be a third wheel in the event that the 3 wives that don't have time with him don't get along, which is kind of what happened with the Browns. Because Christine was the third wife, her cousin said that Christine always wanted to be the last wife. And her cousin mentioned that she didn't even expect Cody and the family to take another wife because it had been such a long time, a very long time since they had added anyone. And because Christine had been in this marriage for 16 years as the last wife, she was the last desired wife of Cody. So the way that this cousin explained it to me is that when a wife gets married, they practice what's called the law of Sarah. And during the ceremony, Christine's responsibility at the wedding between Cody and Robyn was to place Robyn's hand into Cody's hand. And that means she's passing Robyn to Cody, and Robyn will take her place as the desired wife. So Christine gave up her spot as the desired wife, and Robyn took the spot as desired wife. Typically, the youngest wife is the one that gets the most attention, according to her cousin, because they're the ones that are most likely to be able to have children and bring in babies. And obviously men like the younger women because they don't typically have as many responsibilities, all of that, more energy, you know what I mean? So Christine not only had to be forced to give up her desired spot that she held as the last desired wife, so she had never had to do the law of Sarah. She had to do this in order to be in the family. She didn't have a choice. And she had to fulfill her own law of Sarah mandate, or she wouldn't get into the celestial kingdom. So every wife is supposed to hand a new wife over to their husband. And Robyn never did this, so who knows? Maybe Robyn won't go to the celestial kingdom. So one of the problems was Christine wasn't super sure, one, about Robyn because she was cousins with Preston, and she had Preston's side of the story, and she knew that there had been issues with Robyn. She believed that Robyn was not coming into the family for the right reasons, and she had been the last desired wife for 16 years and did not want to give up that spot, but was forced to give it up by Cody.
Here is this girl who's choosing to come into a family with 16 people, 3 wives. She could have her pick. I mean, I know that she's a mom, she's been married before, she has 3 kids, but she could still have her pick, and she's really honestly choosing us.
I'm not gonna lie, there are jealousy issues, you know? I mean, those are there, those are natural, and, you know, hopefully that's something that I can overcome.
Robyn knew what was happening with the Brown family. According to one of Preston's nieces I spoke to, she said that Robyn became aware that Cody and the family were getting a show. Robyn had always wanted to be on TLC, or be on TLC reality television, whatever it was, and had always wanted to be famous and had always had her eyes set on something bigger. And because Preston didn't make a lot of money and they were not, you know, as wealthy as she might have wanted, and she loved to go shopping, she apparently made the decision to leave. And she left the family, her ex-husband's family, in complete disarray, moved down to Utah, and her niece said that Cody meeting Robyn was not by accident. The niece says that Robyn specifically sought out Cody and wanted to be in Cody's family because he was going to be famous and he was going to be on the show. And she wanted to be famous as well. That's the allegation from the niece. A friend of Preston's echoed the same sentiment and said that Robyn was on a quest for fame, and because of her shopping addiction, she needed a man that would be able to fund it, and Cody coming into money with the show would be something that she found to be interesting, and she wanted to be famous as well. His friend, Preston's friend, told me that Cody and Robyn are 2 peas in a pod. They're very, very, very similar. And that she caused a lot of destruction in Montana with the family up there, and that they had a feeling that once they joined the Brown family that the same thing would happen, because apparently Robyn doesn't like to share. So once Robyn joins the family, Christine has this idea that she doesn't believe that Robyn's coming in for the right reasons. She's the last wife. She has to hand over all of these. She has to hand over her spot to Robyn's. Robyn's thinner. She's, you know, according to Cody, a diesel jeans model. And Christine is devastated with this. She's also pregnant. She's expecting Truly. She delivers 2 weeks or a week or 4 weeks before their wedding. It's horrible timing. The family was in complete chaos. The cousin said that Cody and the wives never were consistent. Like, Janelle left several times. Christine and Janelle's relationship was very up and down. Janelle and Mary didn't like each other. Christine and Mary were super close, and then they weren't super close. Cody was like very verbally abusive, the cousin said, and they were always bouncing around because Cody, they said, was lazy. The cousin said that Cody never could hold a job for very long. He would get bored super easily. And so really the show was a way for Cody to make easy money and get the wealth that he desired without a lot of work. All of them were sort of thrust into this, forced into it, and the feud began because Christine knew about Preston. Christine knew about Robyn's intentions. And then Robyn joined the family, and because she had never lived in polygamy, she decided that she wanted to be the head wife. She and Preston were married for 7 years, and she was used to having all of the attention. And Preston had never intended to ever be a polygamist. They weren't even married in the church. So when Robyn and Preston divorced, Robyn and Preston did not need a release from the church, according to Preston and Christine's cousin. And because of that, Robyn was sort of exiting the monogamy world and going back into the polygamy world. She had never been in a relationship in a polygamous family. She grew up with a father that was a polygamist, but they didn't share one house. But her mom was a first wife until Robyn was about 12. And then she was a second wife after, and she met a man named Paul, and she became a second wife. So Robyn had lived with two fathers. Her biological father was a polygamist, and then her stepfather was a polygamist. So she lived in polygamy, but not in one house. And according to the cousins, living in one house is not super common. It does happen, but it's really chaotic, and it creates a lot of mess for the wives. So Robyn didn't like her spot at the bottom, and she wanted Cody all to herself. And so Christine, because Christine knew the truth about who Robyn was and had Robyn pegged from the beginning, Robyn went on a campaign to try to discredit Christine and make everyone around her believe that Christine was dangerous. So a lot like what Robyn did to her ex-husband, Preston, where she told everyone that Preston was abusive, Preston was a horrible person, a deadbeat father. She's saying all of these things so that if Preston ever speaks, he doesn't have credibility. And it also makes people unwilling or maybe reluctant to want to have a conversation with him. When it came to Christine, she was also doing the same thing to people and apparently telling people, don't trust Christine, don't be friends with Christine, according to actually a former friend of Robyn's and a cousin. So you've got multiple people saying that Robyn really didn't want anyone talking to Christine because Christine knew the truth about her. And so Robyn, to this day, is still smearing Christine because Christine didn't want her in the family, was onto her from day one, knew she joined for the wrong reasons, knew she never really wanted to be in plural marriage, knew she only did this for fame, and Robyn is lying in tell-alls about anything that Christine says. So Robyn and Christine's feuds on the show are not uncommon. I mean, we've seen a million of them. We saw them time and time and time again of them having disagreements. But yet for Robyn, for whatever reason, she wants us to pretend like we forgot about these feuds, or we forgot about their disagreements, or we forgot that they took a personality test, or we forgot that Cody was wearing a wedding ring in the beginning of the show, or we forgot that Cody was always over at her house, or that he would leave Christine's house in the morning of filming and go right over to Robyn's house. She doesn't ever want to admit that she did anything, and her cousin said because she's playing a role.
You're lining up all the women. I'm there with them, and you're, shutting them all down. Yeah. And that's not fair, because just because, you're having some issues with other women in your life, or a woman or whatever, doesn't mean that we're all bad. Sorry, I don't know how to let this go. And this isn't me just being dramatic. Thank you, Christine. Oh, so horrible to have her say that. Gosh.
The cousin believes that because Robyn is trying to be top wife, she is going to do everything she can to accommodate Cody, to do whatever he wants, to be whoever he needs. And if that means being a completely different person and pretending to be someone she's not, she will do it. And so she will pretend she's that person even though she's not. So why did she get so mad about Christine and this personality test? My guess, based on my conversations with people that know Robyn and her cousin, who said that this is what happens in these cultures and what she says Robyn is doing, is because being dramatic is in polar opposite to what Cody believes Robyn is. Cody does not believe Robyn is dramatic. Christine says, you are dramatic. This is what it says. You have these blah, 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 blah. Christine has her pegged and she says, I'm not dramatic. And then she goes, this is not me being dramatic. Ugh, thanks, Christine. I can't believe she said that. Why was she so mad? Because to Cody, Robyn is not dramatic. And Robyn doesn't want anyone in the world. She's gonna play this part on television. She's gonna play the part in front of Cody. Now, she might be sneaky and go behind the scenes and do shady things like the catfishing stuff, or try to weasel and like meddle and turn people against Christine and turn people against Janelle and turn people against Mary. But to Cody's face and on the show, she's going to deny she does any of that, because to Cody, she needs to look like this paragon of perfection, as Janelle said. So Christine and Robyn's feud from the beginning is all about Robyn's ex-husband, Preston, and the fact that Christine was cousins and she knew the backstory. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.